Hey everybody, it's Jason with Heap of Jeep. Well, the time has come. The leaf springs are here, and it's time to put them on the 1996 Cherokee XJ. And I gotta tell ya, I am intimidated. I've been reading up for the last couple of weeks on the best way to get the old leaf springs out, and have been reading horror story after horror story, and to the point where I've psyched myself out and have just decided that this is going to be the worst thing I have ever done on this vehicle. And if you've been watching my videos for the last year, you know I am not a mechanic. I've taught myself or retaught myself how to work on my vehicles by watching YouTube videos. Man at Bleepin' Jeep, Eric the Car Guy, a bunch of them. There's some great ones. You can look, I think you can see my subscription list on my channel if you want to know who I watch. But this one, I have not found any videos that go into detail on how to remove these. You know, if the bolt gets stuck, I've seen some where they cut it out. I've seen some where they get it out just fine. But with how bad my Jeep has been, with how much rust is under there, I really am expecting the worst. So I have been reading up, and I've been reading up on different techniques that seem successful on getting the old leaf springs out, especially getting those bolts removed. There's 4 bolts I want to get out. The 2 upper shackle bolts in the back, and then the front eye bolts on the front of the spring. And so that gives me 4 chances to try some different techniques. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it on video, and we're gonna see what works best for this Jeep. It may not work best for you, but at least you might have an idea of what you might face if your Jeep is in similar circumstances. I'm going to go ahead and pull the Jeep in, get her jacked up, and we'll start getting the old leaf springs off and see if I've psyched myself out or if it's going to be as big of a nightmare as I thought it was going to be. So let me show you what I've got going on here. What I did was put the jack under the differential on the rear axle. Jacked it up pretty high, maybe not as high as it would go, but got it up there a ways. Put the jack stands, there's a reinforced part of the frame rail right here. I don't know if you can see, but it's like 2 or 3 thicknesses worth right there. So I just put the jack stands there on each side and then lowered the axle. And I still had 3 or 4 inches for each tire to get the tires off. Now what I'm going to do is raise the axle up again because it's hanging by the leaf spring. So I want to get as much tension off that as I can by raising the axle up and removing the tension that this is under, and then we'll start taking parts off. First thing I'm going to do is take this shock off. I used a 19mm, but it seemed a little big, so if yours is stuck on there, you might want to try a I don't know, it might be an 18. And this is just taking a lot of PB Blaster and a big brake bar. But it's come. If you were in a hurry to do it, you could just take an angle grinder and cut them, which I may do on the other side. Okay, so one side is off. Really wasn't that difficult. And you know, if I had taken, I think this, if I had loosened this nut up here, I could have, well, maybe not, I don't know. But it was, I had to get a wrench to get that last nut off. Now, some people take these, what is this, a sway bar bracket, and turn that into a bar pin eliminator. Okay, well, the U-bolts are all off, spring plate's off. And now I think it's time to lower the axle and see if we can get the spring separated from the axle. So I'll lower the jack and we'll see if this is going to be as easy as it's been going. I'm getting a false sense of security here because everything's been going along pretty smoothly so far, and I know that's about to change. Okay, so it's down. There's a 1/2 inch gap between the bottom of my jack and the axle, so we'll see. I saw Matt from Bleepin' Jeep just kick his to get it off. We'll see if that works with this one. And it did. Here we go. Okay. Here's where my mindset is on these bolts. This is the one bolt that I don't have to take out. I got new shackles and all new bolts, so I don't have to take this one out. But I want to do just a quick test here, because I'm curious. I got all the new bolts from the dealership, from the Jeep dealership. And hopefully it shows up on the camera here. But on the end of these bolts that are brand new, same ones they used in the factory, you'll see something that looks a lot like red Loctite. And if you know anything about red Loctite, once it's on, it doesn't come loose without a lot of heat. Or you break a lot of tools in the process. It's not like blue Loctite, which is just a pain in the butt. Red Loctite does not like to let loose. So, after reading a ton of stories about people trying to get their leaf springs off, I kept hearing heat was the answer. Heat was the key. There's some welded nuts inside the frame rails up here, which I'm going to have to figure out how to get heat to if this works. Now, if this doesn't work, gonna have to cut them or something, but I just want to try it on this one. And the problem I'm facing is I do not have a I believe this is a 21 millimeter bolt, and I only have a 21 millimeter short socket, so a little long. So I'm gonna grind off the end of this bolt, throw some heat on it, so the excess part of that nut is off. I can fit the socket on there now. And it is definitely not turning with just the breaker bar. I'm not really torquing on it a whole lot, but let me throw some heat on it, and we'll see if that does the trick. Oh, looky there. Heat is it's heat. I don't know, is the other side turning? No. That bolt is just coming off, and I'll see how I can get some heat on the bolt in the inner frame rail up there, and we'll keep our fingers crossed that is the way that works the easiest. If that works the easiest, I'm not going through all the other ways and methods, unless I have to, unless something binds up. But for now, I'm going to keep going with this.